Welcome back. Confirmation hearings for President Trump's cabinet kicking off this week on Tuesday, with Senate hearings beginning for Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense, Doug Collins for Veterans Affairs, and Doug Burgum for Secretary of Interior. And then on Wednesday, Senate hearings will begin for 7 nominees, including Kristi Noem for Secretary of Homeland Security, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, Pam Bondi for U.S. Attorney General, and John Ratcliffe for CIA Director. Joining me now with a look ahead of the confirmation process is Kansas Senator Roger Marshall, who sits on both Senate Budget and Finance committees. Great to see you, Senator. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
You bet, Maria. It's great to be with you. Happy New Year to you and everybody. Listen, President Trump's going to go in on day number 1 and sign 100 executive orders. But those orders go nowhere unless we get these nominees across the finish line. He signs the executive order, then these secretaries are going to help write the rules surrounding them, and then they have to implement them. And that's why it's so important that we get this ball rolling and have a bunch of these nominations ready for the president to sign on day 1.
So you met with President Trump this week, along with your colleagues. Did you have a chance to speak with your colleagues? Do you believe you have the votes in the Senate to actually confirm all of his nominees?
Look, you know, I hate to count my chickens before they hatch, but yes, I do. I think that they need to go through the hearing process. They're going to get beat up by the legacy media and the left as well, but I think the votes are there. And, you know, as I've interviewed these people one-on-one, they've been great communicators. They're great leaders. They're very accomplished. Yes, some of them are outside the box, but I do think we have the votes.
By the way, that's what President Trump said. He wants to drain the swamp. He wants outside the box. That was the whole point. I know you have also spent a lot of time with Robert Kennedy Jr., as well as Dr. Oz in the medical field. Tell me what you've learned from that time.
Well, look, I'm excited to help Dr. Oz and Bobby Jr. make America healthy again. And we're talking about what that platform looks like. And I think it starts with healthy, quality nutrition. I think it starts with addressing the chronic disease issues and really addressing this mental health crisis. So I think we're talking about, well, how do we do that? How do we make sure that all Americans have affordable access to healthy food? How do we have more affordable access to mental health? What's causing the mental health challenges? And then when it comes to treating chronic diseases, how do we treat that the best as well? And so we're trying to, you know, put some meat on the bone, so to speak, of how we accomplish that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you've been meeting with all of these medical-related nominees. You're obviously a doctor yourself, and I did not realize, we talked about this over the weekend, 60% of Americans have chronic diseases, things like diabetes or chronic liver problems, Crohn's. These are things you could actually get ahead of with different behavior, nutrition.
Yeah. So we think about chronic diseases. When I was growing up, maybe the incidence in America was 6%, and now it's 60%, whether it's diabetes or COPD or heart disease. And a lot of these we think are exacerbated, caused by our diet, as well as the toxins we're exposed to our environment. Look, about 70% of your health outcomes are determined by you. It's determined by what you eat and what you're surrounded by. By the time you come to my office as a doctor, I can impact maybe 10 or 20% of your health outcomes. As an obstetrician, give me a healthy mom was the most important thing you could do for a healthy outcome for the mom and the baby. So absolutely, and then we need to make these healthy foods affordable, available as well, and then try to eliminate and minimize the toxins that we're exposed to. Look, we're coming after ultra-processed foods. We think that they have a big problem and have a big challenge. Think about Alzheimer's. I think Alzheimer's is really type 3 diabetes in many ways as well.
Wow.
So there's huge opportunities ahead of us.
Wow, that is incredible. Real quick on military spending, are you going to try to get that in before the continuing resolution on March 14th? I know you've got lots of deadlines here, but what is a realistic timing to get your military spending bump as well as the debt ceiling issue resolved?
Right, and I think the point here is you can't look at just each issue in a silo. That reconciliation, when does the funding in for the government, when does the debt ceiling happen, what of those could we address in the reconciliation bills? I think you're going to see Congress, the House and the Senate, go down 2 parallel roads, and then we'll see where we are by March. But I think if we could get some military funding in before that March 14th deadline for the funding of the government, then that would make that process much simpler as well. If we could somehow address the debt ceiling as well before then, that would be great as well. So look at all these problems together, not by themselves.
Senator, it's good to see you. I know there's a lot of optimism around, and we will look forward to your work. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, Senator Roger Marshall joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.